Now, another Thanksgiving is over, as well as Black Friday. Now, Black Friday is, of course, where millions of Americans descended into stores, and millions of workers were forced to put in extra times in order to meet those demands. Now, not all workers took part. In fact, there were workers at Amazon distribution centers in Germany that went on strike for better pay. So now, Union Ver.d said on Friday that the walkouts had begun overnight at 6 distribution centers across the country, with still that are ongoing that might end up going till tomorrow. Now, Union Representative Orhan Akman said that Amazon staff had wanted to send a signal that their work could not be bought with the kind of extreme discounts Amazon offers around this time of year. So that's what they do instead of paying people more. By the way, they say, "Well, no, we're not going to pay you more. We're just going to give you a discount at our store." Well, that's interesting, right? So now, Achman accused the company of putting, quote, extreme pressure on staff that is causing some to fall ill. So now, one of the big complaints about Amazon is are the quotas, right? Um, you only have so much time in order to get things done. Now, I get that, but at the same time, these are incredibly restrictive. Um, Let me give you an example. These time limits are so strict that there are people that have reported not being able to go to the bathroom. An undercover investigation in the UK revealed that warehouse workers resorted to urinating in bottles and trash cans around the warehouse so that they did not have to miss their strict time targets. Drivers have also reportedly used their vans as improvised bathrooms, gross, in order to meet delivery goal deadlines, according to the New York Post. So that's just one of the problems going on with Amazon. Another, of course, is workplace injury due to these strict time goals. A reporter for the Mirror, Alan Selby, went undercover for 5 weeks and reported employees collapsing at work, suffering panic attacks, pulled muscles, and more injuries. A driver for a shipping company used by Amazon also told Business Insider that when he accidentally slammed his hand on the van door, he was shamed at work and asked to finish his deliveries before seeking medical care. That's the kind of stuff that happens at Amazon. Even if you don't work for Amazon, even if you're just one of the shippers, disaster. But it actually gets even worse than that. And this is a new story that came out, and it was has to do with a worker or a former worker named Philip Lee Terry, who was killed while working in an Amazon center. Back in 2017, this maintenance worker, Terry, was crushed by a forklift while working at an Amazon warehouse in Indiana. So now that's bad enough. So a state investigator had found during an investigation that Amazon was at fault and cited them for major safety violations. Now, the company ended up being fined for about $28,000. Now, it's a small fine, especially when Amazon makes billions of dollars and doesn't actually have to pay taxes on it. But again, this is Amazon. So they actually fought it. Now, according to a report from Reveal in partnership with The Atlantic, after Amazon had appealed citations and fines for that incident, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb overturned the citations to lure in Amazon's second headquarters to Indiana. So this is on two levels, right? For one, there's Amazon basically saying, no. This person that was crushed to death by a forklift, that was our fault for not having good safety standards and safety features. The fact that this person was actually not trained to be able to do that job correctly. And that is, of course, the fault of Amazon for putting someone in that position that is inadequately trained that allowed him to suffer a fatal workplace injury, as well as other safety violations. They fought against that and basically said, hey, that's his fault. We didn't have anything to do with it. Right. So not only that, but there's the corruption on Eric Holcomb, right? Who's like, we'll let that all go if you do us a solid and build here. A political favor, essentially. Oh, disaster. So now they also, state labor officials deleted every fine and officially accepted Amazon's claim that Terry was responsible for his own death. Now, what did Indiana get in return? Nothing. They got no headquarters. And they actually gave that money back to Amazon. But see, it doesn't matter. This is who the company is, right? They have so much power and yet paid no taxes. Paid no taxes on $11 billion of profit back in 2018. And also get away with bribing politicians. In fact, they tried to oust Kshama Sawant, who's the socialist. She's an actual socialist in Seattle. They tried to buy an election against her, and they almost succeeded in defeating her. This is what Amazon is doing. So, they are part of that corporate corruption. So now for the Germans, again, huge credit for the Germans for standing up. In fact, let's see. I want to actually correct what I said about the union. It's Verdi. So not Verdi. I don't know why it said that on my notes, but huge credit for that union for standing up against Amazon. If only we could do the same in America to actually protect workers and fight against, their attempts to extract as much profit as they can from their workers. So we need a massive labor movement in this country. And Amazon should be their first target. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.